Hey everyone. Okay, so what to expect when you're auditioning for The Voice. This is based on my experience auditioning in 2019 in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's only for round one. I didn't get to round two. Sad. Hopefully I can get to round two next year so that I can convey to you guys what to expect for round two. But this is for round one. Okay, first, make sure that you have your ticket and your consent form. You do not want to lose your consent form or your ticket, your audition pass. Because guess what? If you don't have it, you're not getting in, period. They're not gonna let you print it out in, the building. It's just, you gotta have it. You gotta have it on you. If you're under 18, you gotta have your birth certificate on you, okay? And a guardian. I saw a couple of kids being turned away because their guardian wasn't there, and I was so sad for them. But hopefully, I'm assuming their guardian showed up sometime later. Fingers crossed for you kids. Okay, second, make sure to get there very early, like an hour or two early. Just from my experience, I got there. Let's see, my audition. So you get a morning. There's a morning audition time and there's an afternoon audition time. So you get to pick 9 a.m. or 2 a.m. Actually, I don't really know the morning time. It could have been earlier than 9 a.m. because I had the 2 p.m. call, and I picked the 2 p.m. call. I got there at 12. I want to say 12:30, and I was definitely not in the front of the line, but I was not all the way in the back, and I got in and out in about 3.5 or 4 hours. So still a long time, but compared to the guys in the back of me, 3.5 to 4 hours was pretty good. It was pretty damn decent. So make sure that you rest and drink a lot of water. And if you're flying in, you definitely want to make sure you fly in maybe like a few days before the audition. I flew in the day before the audition. I ended up getting a freaking sore throat and a little bit of a cold, just because I tend to catch germs at the airport really quickly. And I knew this is what always happens to me, but I just didn't think about it. I mean, I don't fly that often, but the times that I have, I've gotten a sore throat and a cold like the moment I stepped off of the plane. So prepare wisely, I guess, is what I'm saying. I also didn't sleep very well the day before, but I don't think that really had anything to do with it. It was really the nerves and the stuffiness, but whatever, I'm making excuses now, blah, blah, blah. Forget all that. This is about you. Okay, so ticket, prepare, get online early, or I've read some people have gotten there very late, and they said that was good because by the time they got there an hour later, the crowd, an hour or two later, the crowd had moved along. I say get there early. Early is better. So you wait online for about an hour and a half. You have folks working for The Voice on a, what is that called, a megaphone, basically telling you that you can't have any other guests. Yes, you are alone. You have to audition alone if you are not a child, and by child I mean under 18. So if you're if you're a grown adult, then you audition alone. You cannot bring another human being with you. And by another human being, I mean a friend or a family member. Let's see. Okay. You can't bring another friend or family member. It's actually very civil. The entire thing was very civil. I was very surprised. It was very calm. You're basically standing in line. You're standing in line. You're standing in line. And a lot of people actually, I didn't hear them practicing, which was weird. But people were very respectful for the most part, at least in Atlanta. But Atlanta tends to be, from my first experience, a very, very wonderful and polite place. I love you, Atlanta. I love you. I'm gonna visit you again. I can't believe I haven't visited you before. I love you, Georgia. So you're waiting in line. Oh, you need your ID. Make sure you have your ID. Okay. You're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting. And then you get to the front of the line, and then you show your ticket. Again, actually, you show your ticket once right before you get online, and then you show your ticket again when you get to the front of the line. And when you get to the front of the line, they check your ID and your little slip, your audition pass, and then you go inside the building. And there's actually somebody at the front cheering you on, saying good luck, which I thought was really sweet. Woman at the front, thank you for cheering us all on. I appreciate you so much. And then when you get in the building, you wait some more. But guess what? They got food. Yes, they got food. They got a menu. And on the menu, it says, welcome to The Voice. And you've got like French fries and corn dog and what else did they have? I'm forgetting. They had tea. Thank God they had tea, and they had coffee. And they had some other food, but I don't remember what other food there was. I was super nervous. Oh, I think they had sandwiches. Yeah, they had sandwiches. And I thought I wasn't gonna eat because I was too nervous. And I don't like eating before I sing because my stomach feels too full. But guess what? I got hungry. I got real hungry. So I bought some French fries while I was waiting. I bought some trail mix, and I bought some tea. And all together, I think I paid $13. Not bad. I was desperate. I was hungry. And so you waited, and then you're waiting, and they bring in everybody into this big room, and you're in rows. You're seated in rows, and there are 10 people in each row. And so, one by one, they start calling up the rows. Okay, and every time they called up a row, people would clap for the row. It was really sweet. It was really sweet. Atlanta, you're so sweet. Okay, and eventually your row gets called. Oh my God. Okay, your row gets called, and then guess what? You go into another room. Yay! And in that room, actually it was a hallway. You go into a hallway. At least in my experience, I was in a hallway. You go into a hallway, and they seat you in a row of 10, okay? And they tell you, this is your group of 10 people, okay? Do not leave your seat unless you really, really have to pee. Because there was this woman who left her seat, and then she almost missed the audition by a little couple of minutes. But thankfully they were forgiving, and they allowed her in last minute. So you get you got a wristband before, and then they cut your wristband before you go in. Oh my God, I'm sorry. This is probably all just like gibberish, and I don't know if this is making any sense visually, but I'm just gonna spit out what the audition process was like. Take it or leave it. Hate me, love me, whatever. But I'm not re-recording this. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Maybe I'll do it another day. And so then you get called into another room, and there's a producer sitting there. Hello, producer. Okay. And so by the time you're walking into the room, you sort of have a feel of who you're auditioning against, at least in terms of like personality, as much as you can pick up sort of the vibe. I had a lot of cute people in my group. I was like, damn, there are a lot of cute people. I don't mean cute as in like, whoo, cute, but I mean like little people, like young people. And I was like, oh, babies. They're babies that are auditioning. I don't mean babies in like a condescending way. I'm sorry if it sounds like that, but what I mean is like, I was rooting for them because I was like, damn, you guys are so young and you're doing this. Like in my heart, I was like, oh, they're so young. If I was 17, there's no way in hell I would have the courage to do it. In fact, at my age, I was like, holy shiznits, I don't know if I can do it. So that's what I mean when I say babies, and I'm so sorry if that's offensive, but that's not. I meant babies in a good way. Anyway, yes. Yeah, there were a lot of young people in my group, and I was just like actually rooting for them in my heart, because again, I think it's being that young, it's really hard to get up there. It's hard at any age. So and then there was a set of twins. They were twins, and I was just like, oh, okay, all right, so I'm just plain Jane in a group of super young, hip, cool people, and this really like country-looking country guy, and then these twins who were gonna sing together a duet. And I was just like, all right. And then it started getting into my head, and then I started getting more nervous, even though mentally I wasn't nervous, but I started having palpitations. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about me. Go back into the audition room. Okay, you're in the audition room. 10 of you are seated facing each other in this big room, and the producer is at the front of the room, and she's very sweet. He or she or they are very sweet. And in my case, she said, like, you know, welcome, thank you all for being here. She did the whole spiel, and was like, you guys have 30 seconds to sing your song. 30 seconds. I was like, oh shoot, I thought it was 45 seconds to a minute, so I had practiced 45 seconds to a minute. So then I started freaking out. Not about me, it's about you. Okay, let's go back to what you should expect. Okay, so she then proceeds to tell you, I'm going to be on my computer, so I may not look up, but I'm not being rude. I'm just looking at my computer and typing. I think she wasn't really looking at her computer and typing. I think she was just like pretending. I don't know why they do this. I really don't. She claims that she was taking notes, but I doubt that she was taking notes, because the speed at which she was typing was like, and there's no way in hell that you can listen to somebody singing and take notes that quickly. And even if you're not concentrating on someone singing, I doubt you can type like this and have any words. It's probably like F, G, Z, Y, W, blah, 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 whatever. But she was pretending, at least, like she was typing and flipping through paperwork while everyone was singing. There were times where she looked up. When she looked up at me, I was like, holy, she's looking at me. I haven't seen her look up for a little while. Oh my God, it must mean I'm terrible. And then I started getting into my head, whatever. Okay, back to you. Okay, so then she randomly calls up people's names, and and then there's like a T on the floor, and she's like, stand on the T and sing. And you're facing her, but she's not looking at you. She ain't looking at you. She might glance up 1 or 2 times if you're lucky, or unlucky in my case, because when she looked up at me, it got into my head. Stand on the T and sing. So maybe if you want to visualize this, you can go into a room, put a little T on the floor, and sing to a pretend producer. Get one of your friends to sit at the front, in front of like a desk or something, and stand like 10 feet away and stand on a T marked with a tape and start singing for 30 to 45 seconds. But she was very patient. She let us all go over 30 seconds. In fact, there was a little girl. I'm sorry, I keep saying little girl. There was a young woman, probably 14, 15 years old, and she started singing. She was very nervous. Beautiful voice, very nervous, and she couldn't complete the song. And so then I started clapping for her, because she almost gave up. And then everyone started clapping. And then she asked if she could sing another song, and the producer was like, yeah, go ahead. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's very civil. Like, the fact that she said go ahead, this producer wasn't like ruthless, like, no, you got one shot and one shot only. And so the young woman got to sing again. So after you all sing your 30 to 45 seconds, the producer takes about maybe like 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, before she says, thank you everybody for being here. There were a lot of wonderful voices in the room, and I'm quoting because I remember this word for word. There were a lot of wonderful voices in this room. However, there are only a few people that I can take. So she ended up taking the twins. The twins were amazing. And she called back also this young woman, 13 years old, young girl, we can call her girl. But I don't know if she got she called the young girl because she wanted her to go through, or whether she just wanted to tell her to come back next year because she had a really good voice also. But I don't know if she got the red ticket. Oh, so if you get through, you get a red ticket. It's red. And when you come out the door and everyone sees that red ticket, people are like, yay! Or some people are like, oh, because you know they want the red ticket. When you see someone else have the red ticket and you don't have the red ticket, your heart just dies a little bit inside. Yeah, so the twins were lucky. The rest of us were not. Well, maybe the 13-year-old was lucky. I'm not sure. I don't know if she got the red ticket or not. But needless to say, at least 8 of us walked out there a little broken-hearted. And then 2 people, not so much. And I wish all of them the best. I really do. And I was sad, yes, that I didn't get through. But you know what? It was my first audition, and you have to remember, it's almost like winning the lottery, but you got a little bit more chance than the lottery, because out of 10, sometimes they pick somebody. So you got a 1 out of 10 shot. Well, sometimes they don't pick anybody, I've heard, but at least in my group, they at least picked 1. The duo. Yeah, and then you either walk out with your red ticket, yay, or you walk out just being like, all right, maybe next year. Actually, in the beginning, I was like, I'm not coming back next year. This is so exhausting. I'm glad I did it, but I'm not coming back. I don't think I'm coming back. Just because it was a wonderful experience. Sometimes in life, you just gotta go for it. It's not a, I know it's cheesy. It's not about the yes or no, but seriously, like, it's a big deal if you can stand practicing. I didn't practice a lot. I'll swear to you, I didn't even know what song I wanted to pick. Oh, song selection. You better pick something that's like up and coming, like recent. They don't want to hear old school songs from what I hear, but I mean, unless your voice is just like, oh, like, oh, holy shiznits, no matter what you sing, you could sing the freaking phone directory, but, and maybe you'll get through, I don't know, but song selection is very, 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 very important. I picked a song that I thought would have shown my range, and then I got up there and I freaked out, and then I just couldn't. I was hearing myself. I was like, oh my God. I thought there was gonna be more acoustic in the room, but I couldn't hear no acoustic. I couldn't hear an echo. I just heard my voice just getting stifled, and then I started getting scared, and I felt my heart beating. But it's okay. Next year, I'm gonna have a video about what I could have done better, and I'm gonna do it so that any of you who plan to audition know what not to do at your next audition. All right, I've blabbed enough. I'm sorry if this is one of those videos where you're like, oh my God, this person can't stop talking. They're not getting straight to the point. But you know what? I took the time out of my goddamn day to tell you what to expect, so you can be a little bit appreciative. All right, and even if you're not, I love you, peace, and good luck. And lipstick.